Concerning the ghunâh-ikebâir, grave sins. There are many kinds of grave sins, which are called ghunâh-ikebâir. Grave sins. 72 of them are as follows. 1. Unjust homicide. 2. To commit fornication. 3. Sodomy is haram in every religion. 4. To drink wine or any other sort of alcoholic beverages. 5. Thieving. 6. To eat or drink narcotics. 7. To lay hands on someone else's property by using force. That is, to commit extortion. 8. To bear false witness. 9. Without a nude zur, to eat before other Muslims during the blessed month of Ramadan. 10. Riba. That is, to borrow or lend property or money at an interest. 11. To swear solemnly time and again. 12. To disobey your parents. 13. To cease from making sila ra'am to mahram relatives who are Sali Muslims. Sila-e-ram means visiting your close relatives. 14. In a war, to desert from the battlefield and run away from the enemy. 15. To utilize an orphan's property without the orphan's consent. It is stated as follows towards the end of the 266th page of the 10th edition of the 5th fascicle of Endless Bliss. The orphan's executor cannot pay the deceased's debts with the orphan's property. Nor can he pay the orphan's fitra or perform the korban for the orphan out of the orphan's property. But the orphan's father can. If the executor becomes needy, he can utilize the orphan's property, but he cannot donate it to someone else. 16. Not to use your scales or measures properly. 17. To perform daily 5 namazes, salats, before or after their prescribed times. 18. To hurt your believer brother's heart. 19. To make a false statement under the pretense of giving a quotation from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, although in fact the statement does not belong to the Prophet. 20. To take a bribe. 21. To avoid bearing true witness. 22. Not to pay zakat or ushur for your property. 23. When you see a person committing a sin, not to try to dissuade him although you could. 24. To burn an animal alive. 25. After learning how to read the Quran adhim to forget how to read it. 26. To give up hope of mercy of Allahu adhim 27. To betray people's trust. It makes no difference whether they are Muslims or non-Muslims. 28. To eat pork, which is haram. 29. To hate and curse any one of Rasulullah's Sahaba, Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim ajma'in. 30. To continue eating after being satiated, it is haram to do so. 31. For a woman to avoid conjugal act with her husband without any good reason. 32. For a woman to go out to visit an acquaintance without her husband's permission. 33. To accuse a chaste woman of fornication. 34. Nemima, that is, to practice tale-bearing among Muslims. 35. To show one's avrat parts to others. A man's avrat parts are between their navel and their knees. A woman's hair, arms and legs also are within her avrat parts. It is a grave sin also to look at others' avrat parts. 36. To eat flesh of an edible animal that died of itself. Such flesh is called lesh. As well, an edible animal that has been killed in a way disagreeable with the way dictated by Islam is called lesh, and it is no longer edible. 37. To commit a breach of trust. 38. To backbite a Muslim. 39. To be jealous. 40. To attribute a partner to Allahu ad-him-ush-shan. This evil deed is called shirk, polytheism. 41. To lie. 42. Arrogance, to think of oneself as superior. 43. For a person in his deathbed to disinherit a heir somehow. 44. To be avaricious and very miserly. 45. To be fond of the world, harems. 46. Not to be afraid of torment to be inflicted by Allahu Ta'ala. 47. If a certain thing is haram, not to believe that it is haram. 48. If a certain thing is halal, not to believe that it is halal. 49. To believe a fortune teller's words about people's fortunes and about the ghaib, unknown, future. 50. To abandon one's religion, to become a murtad, renegade. 51. To look at someone else's wife or daughter without an uzur to do so. 52. For women to wear men's clothes. 53. For men to wear women's dresses. 54. To commit sins within the harem-e-sharif. 55. To call the azan or to perform namaz before prayer time comes. 56. To disobey state authorities, to violate laws. 57. To liken your wife's mahram parts to your mother's mahram parts. 58. To swear at one's wife's mother. 59. To aim a gun to each other. 60. To eat or drink a dog's leftovers. 61. To taunt someone, that is, to reproach in a sarcastic way someone, about the favors you have done to them. 62. For men to wear silk clothes. 63. To persist in remaining ignorant. To not learn the belief of Ahl-i Sunnah, fazes, harems, and all sorts of necessary learnings. 64. To swear on names other than the name of Allahu Ta'ala or by mentioning names other than those which are stated by Islam. 65. To run away from knowledge. 66. Not to understand that ignorance is an evil. 67. To persistently carry on with committing venial sins. 68. To laugh with an uproarious laughter, without an uzur to do so. 69. To remain junub for such a length of time as will cause you to miss one of the daily prayer times. 70. To have sexual intercourse with your wife during her menstrual or lochial period. 71. To make melody. To sing indecent songs. To play musical instruments. Insert. On this topic concerning melodies, music, permissible and harems, please check our channel for video with explanational knowledge. 72. Suicide, that is, to kill oneself, is a sin graver than homicide. A suicide is subjected to torment of hell in grave. If he does not die at once and makes tawbah, asking for forgiveness, all his sins will be forgiven. He will not be subjected to torment in his grave. Validity, being sahih, of tawbah made for omitted namazes, salats, is contingent on their having been paid by being made qada, also called qaza. A person who begins to make qada of namazes which he omitted, has virtually made niyat to perform prayers of qada till the end of his life. In return for this niyat of his, all his debts of qada will be forgiven. Likewise, supposing an unbeliever becomes a believer, and makes tawbah for having been an unbeliever or a heretic holding a heresy called bid'at, makes tawbah for having been a heretic, they have virtually made niyat not to relapse into unbelief and heresy, respectively, and not to resume the evil deeds that they had been committing in those old days of nescience, ignorance. In return for this niyat, sincere intention, of theirs, all the sins are forgiven. Thank you for visiting our channel. Please subscribe and click on the bell to get notified every time a new upload has been released. And meanwhile, you help spreading true Islamic knowledge, preserved throughout centuries via books written by great Islamic scholars rahmatullahi alayhi ajma'in.